Hey folks, welcome back to Renegade Plays Games. As you might have guessed by the title, I'm here to cover the Heroscape Wave 2 Age of Annihilation's details that just dropped. Now I'm sure you...
Hey, what are you doing?
Who are you?
Read the sign, dude. I'm Renegade's #1 fan. You're gonna make a mean old video about them, aren't you? You're probably just gonna complain about prices again or something.
They ripped off every single idea from Heroscape.org without consulting the developer and then tried to hide it.
Damn. Well, let's get into it.
I told you, that's my line. The Heroscape Age of Annihilation Wave 2 details just dropped at Renegade VirtualCon yesterday, and we need to talk. I wasn't totally sure I'd even make a video about this reveal, honestly. I don't really want to talk about the cards because of the Deadeye Dan effect, which is when a new unit comes out and it's so hyped to oblivion, only for players to later find out that it's worthless. And I didn't really want to complain about the price again. I feel like I got that all out of my system last time. $45 for 5 unpainted figures? Oh my god, $45 for 4 unpainted figures? What? There's no way. There's no way. With all the Wave 2 content that's out, if you bought every uncaned box from Renegade and every terrain pack over the next couple months, you'd be at about $400, and we're not even halfway through the Age of Annihilation stuff. That means we're paying like a 4x markup basically to get all this stuff split up. Now don't get me wrong, I do think splitting the terrain and the figures is a good idea, and I do think that boxing everything together was a big mistake by the HasLab because the cost of the box became super prohibitive up front, even though it was a really good deal for the value. That's probably not a surprise to you. After all, I am personally responsible for its death. But even across Renegade's pricing, I need someone to genuinely explain to me why a battle box with 6 figures and a whole bunch of terrain, including trees and water, sparkly water, and all of the accessories that you need to play the game up front is the exact same price as these 5 guys or these 4 guys. I don't get it. With quarterly releases at this rate, I'm looking to spend like almost $1,000 on Heroscape a year, which is really not sustainable, and that's pretty unfortunate. The painted stuff is going to run you like another $500,000. Weirdly, I think the battle box has the best value out of all the pre-painted stuff. I mean, $20 for 6 painted miniatures is pretty good actually. Although one thing I've been noticing lately with this Wave 2 reveals too is that the paint jobs don't match the cards. Let's take a look at the newly released Iron Lickviscera. This massive warlord is ready to stomp anything on his way to his job as a construction cone. Or Fia Bonnie, stealthy pirate who really wanted to stand out with her neon orange hood. The card art looks good. It looks cool. The Wraith Riders, they're so cool. That guy has a chainsaw. That guy's got a whip. They're so cool. The art looks badass, is what I'm saying. The actual card design, not so much. So I don't get why Cornelius Breach looks like he was trying to dress up as a banana for Halloween and then gave up halfway through. I'll shout out fellow Scape tuber and all-around great guy Roguescaper here. He's going to be offering painting tutorials for, I assume, all of the figures, and I'm going to be following them. His work is going to blow any of the pre-painted stuff out of the water, so I would highly recommend following him. If you want to learn to do your own but don't feel like you know where to start, he's your guy. Also, we've got terrain packs. Cool. Not really marketed to me with all my tubs of stuff back there, so whatever. It's just basic rock for $70. It's pretty much worthless. Oh, 24 hex sand? Damn it. Now I'm gonna buy it. Fuck. Okay, so we get 24 hex sand. That's pretty great, actually, although I'll probably get mine secondhand because I don't need all of that excess stuff. I have 24 hexes piled up on the shelves out of frame. I have too many. I don't know what to do with them. I'll probably make a separate video covering buying Heroscape in modern times because I like to save. But you can get a first edition Rise of the Valkyrie for like 60 bucks. And it also comes with, you know, the game. They've got water too. 3x water is cool, I guess. I actually don't know how many they have. I didn't look it up before scripting. 5? Okay. And Wellspring water, which they promised would be exclusive to the battle box, and then immediately walked that back. These prices are extreme, and I would not recommend buying from Renegade directly. Instead, I would wait to buy from retailers like Miniature Market that will sell it at a lower price, or support your friendly local game store, which is what I'm planning to do. If you really want to pre-order and you're going to buy from Renegade, remember that I'm an official sponsor, and I have a link in the description where if you click it and purchase Heroscape, I'll get a small commission at no cost to you. That's right, I'm an officially Renegade sponsored YouTuber, so make sure to check out that link in the description when you're buying Heroscape. Jokes aside, a couple of you have actually used that link, and that actually means a lot to me. It's really nice to receive that support, and also it's really funny. But now, let's get into what inspired me to actually sit down and make this video. In the Wave 1 Con, Renegade revealed plans for a battle network, which was supposed to be your one-stop shop for competitive Heroscape. I touched on this in my last video, but the battle network is basically just lifted straight from Heroscape.org, which is a website run by a longtime community member meant to streamline the competitive experience. You can easily set up and host events, both in person and online, and sign up for events as well. There's a damage calculator, there's an army builder with customs and delta pricing. There's maps input by community members with build instructions or links to play online. And there's even a me page where you can even see your past and current events, your sorted record, and your hosted maps. I want to be clear, one guy made this. One guy over the course of several years with a bunch of feedback from the community. It's been perfectly tailored to suit the needs of players, tournament directors, casual fans, and the battle network is not bad. First of all, the battle network isn't even finished, even though Gen Con is in like 6 weeks. All they had to show off was a couple of screenshots from their beta version, which means this thing isn't even functional. Now, I'm not exactly an expert in web development, but if I had to guess, I'd say it's probably not enough time to get this thing up and running with 0 flaws just in time for the big day. Fine, they don't have a functional battle network. That's not a huge deal, it's just funny. What is a huge deal and what really blanks my dice is that they cloned all these Heroscape.org features without even consulting the developer. I got confirmation that they never even reached out about it. And you could argue that this is what you would expect from something like this, but they don't have a program even close to this for any of their other games. You could argue that they didn't know about Heroscape.org. I mean, they don't even know how ladders work. I'm just kidding. I don't even know how ladders work. But you should know how flying works. But you'll see in a second that they're fully aware of Heroscape.org and they're trying to hide it from their customer base. In the live stream, they revealed a whole suite of tools for the Battle Network.
The Battle Network is essentially a dedicated Heroscape organized play website, which will serve as a community hub for players, judges, and event organizers. Anyone who runs events knows how important it is to have intuitive tournament software. Battle Network has a really intuitive suite of player features. The Battle Network will track your performance in events, so you'll be able to earn placement and show off your battle prowess to the entire Heroscape community.
Sound familiar? It's literally just Heroscape.org. And Jordan Gaeta, the marketing guru, had the gall to call this super innovative. That really irks me. Now, why didn't they just hire the .org developer to save themselves a ton of time and presumably a fair amount of money? They seem to have some sort of rule against hiring community members. They didn't hire any of them for any of the designer positions and then had to walk back all of their playtested designs. Travis McGregor, the Gen Con and organized play manager, won't talk to anyone who's run Gen Con before about how it should be done, and then they had to walk back all of their format details and event details. And instead of outright buying .org or bringing the developer in as a contractor to maintain it and slapping a fresh coat of paint on it, they're going to have something that doesn't do what half of the tournament directors or players need it to do, and it's not even going to be functional by Gen Con. And I'm putting that on the predictions list.
Alright, and there we go.
Now let's say this wasn't malicious, let's just say it was ignorance. They really did come up with all of these ideas on their own. Then why did they delete my comments from their live stream? In order to run an event through the Battle Network, you have to register and get an event approved ahead of time. I'm not doing that. One player in the chat asked about running a casual Heroscape tournament with fans. I reminded everyone that Heroscape.org is free, exists, and is built with the community in mind. And gone. I tried again, making sure not to put a link in case it got caught by YouTube spam filters the first time, asking them if they'd thought about giving any credit to all the ideas that they'd taken from Heroscape.org. And gone. Again. Okay, I'm actually realizing right now that all of my comments are gone from the chat, even the innocuous ones, comparing the price of a Knights of Weston squad to the Essenic Army expansion box. So I guess I got banned from the chat after my first message about Heroscape.org. That's wild. So they're giving absolutely no credit where credit is due and taking it all for themselves, and the sweet man behind .org just wants what's best for Renegade while they inhale all of his best ideas. Frankly, I only plan to use the Battle Network unless I absolutely have to. All of my hosted tournaments will continue to stay on Heroscape.org to support the developer and the community. My experience with Renegade kind of soured the whole thing for me, but I am excited to watch the community grow this fall. There was a discussion on Discord a while back about what makes a long-time Heroscape member, because Renegade had used that term to describe a painter that no one had ever really heard of. I would consider myself a long-time scaper, not because of how long I've been around, but for how much I've done for the community in the last few years since I got into it. I host events both in person and online. I play in every event I can, both in person and online, including hopefully going to ScapeCon this year. I write fan fiction, I design custom cards, one of which even got submitted to the SOV recently. I make a ton of content, I was even a Renegade playtester, and that's not to say that I'm better than players who are just casual or on the peripherals of community. All of that to say, the secret plan is that I want to turn those people into me. I love seeing new people start up tournaments. Some of them have even come to me asking for advice, and that's one of my favorite things ever. I love seeing new players hop into online Scape or my local tournaments. I love seeing people post their customs on Facebook, even if they have too much defense. When I criticize Renegade, it's coming from a love of this game and wanting it to be the best that it can be. I am part of the community. I don't view Renegade as part of that. They don't deserve our respect or our attention. They're just putting out the product that we as the community love. If you watch this video and you're so excited for Heroscape that nothing can shake that, that is awesome. I'm genuinely happy for you and honestly a little bit jealous. If you watch this video and you're a little concerned at all of the million shady things Renegade has done in the last couple months, because it like almost has reached 1 million, totally understandable. Just remember, the community will always be here. And that is what's important. Renegade is just a corporation that views you as a number, and frankly, they're kind of bad at even calculating those numbers. Except for Lee Hoff. Lee, if you're watching, you're one of the only people I respect, and you're one of the only competent people at Renegade, if not the only competent person. I actually have a little gift I'm going to send you at some point as a way of saying, I'm sorry I made your job harder than it has to be. With all that out of the way, let's make one more prediction for the prediction board. I predict this video is going to end right now. Damn it.